Here you go. Am I under your way? Thanks, Sarah.
No? Because, sis, come on. No, I sit here. You and Pa sit inside.
Thank you.
No. Oh, hey, you guys.
We have our dinner here, so.
We're expecting a few other people to make it in too.
I usually cook at the house, but I didn't have
That's fine.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh, we don't know.
I get another seat here if somebody wants it.
Wait, whose chairs are those though, you idiot?
I thought they were going to sit on it.
Who's gonna sit in this?
Okay, isn't it Mary down there?
Oh, okay.
Your mom and
I mean,
your dad, Mary and Liv. The little chair is mine if you need to sit down.
I'll just to be safe.
Wait, what about your guys' little chairs that they had? Didn't they have chairs that they brought?
Yeah, it's my brother. Oh, they're up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Keeps you warm. You know what? Keeps you warm.
Yeah. What if we put your friend's chairs out for show and his
That's why I
friend?
say I asked them. They don't want it.
They don't want it?
Oh,
It's okay.
Why don't you want it? They're just there.
We're expecting a few other people too.
I've got one seat here that's over.
We could move back there. Do you guys want this? Okay. Sorry. I feel bad. Like, we kicked out his friend.
I used to be in one a long time ago, and there was like the country music, but more like rock country. Yeah, they have that too. Like she likes rock. You can appreciate it more. Yeah. Every time I hear a song, I go, oh, I want to dance to that.
A recital could be like I guess like a basically.
I guess we're gonna go.
I'm assuming he doesn't have to fitness stuff.
She's looking at the line. She's
It looks like they have I was actually gonna go to for a second until I like looked at the wire. Because my office right now, it's like
But in 5 minutes, and the line's really long.
10 minutes away from the house. It's just like 2 turns and I'm there. So really
He looks like a rock.
Do you want to go in?
Probably 7.
Here she comes.
wait, are you coming? So you have spring break next week? 2 weeks. Does he like coaching any class?
I know everything about her. I never met her.
What could I possibly be forgetting?
Mistake. Hold on. I'm listening
Okay.
to things. Give me a second.
Sorry that gay kicked out your friends. I tried to fix it. I feel bad.
Okay.
As long as you're not mad.
Dylan's story. You want here? You just have to be very quiet because we're live recording things.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. I think you're okay. You've got everything. Do you need? You've got all your mutes and stuff.
So,
You don't need mutes.
well, I could play.
Which one do you say?
Oh, you took a picture of the. There's the ones on the bottom or on the counter that shows.
Oh, there's more on the counter?
Yeah, with a light bulb.
When you not.
Because I'm not. I was scared.
I want to make one. Okay, well, you know what?
I think I'm gonna. I don't want to leave because I don't want to miss it. Come on. How are you?
Good. We took my senior group took over your table.
Oh, it's okay. I think there's a spot right I can sit.
You can sit on our laps. Sit on Laura's lap. Oh, I hope it's good. The food was amazing.
I will eat it. Actually, I should open all the things now.
I grew up with kind of
Yeah,
Before it all starts.
Is I'm excited. I've never seen Uncle Kim before. The jazz man. The jazz. What? Oh, you're like
Actually, I'm gonna listen to this picture.
hello.
Thankfully, I've never.
Do you hear me or not?
Yeah.
Sorry. It's okay. There's only 2 people left.
You're just too nice.
I'm gonna go sit down.
Anxiety.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Not too bad.
Actually, you know what?
Do you fit?
Yeah, we're good. Let me just start this.
I think I fit here.
Oh god.
Hi. Sorry, I didn't want to fall. I had focus.
Good.
Yeah, and now we're Grandma, do you want to go grab coffees with Daddy? I know this whole time, but the line is on.
All the loud things. I'm gonna toss it in my purse. That's okay.
It's a long way off. Like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like going back like
Americano is going to be more, it's going to be darker flavor.
Mary's going.
I know. They were good books.
Today's birthday last
Monday.
We actually went to the play for
Are you on the edge right there or not? Yeah. Are you on the edge? Because I'm right up there. Okay. Almost both
That's why you don't remember.
help set up.
Well, she does both.
They have it like in one area and then there's different ones in there and it kind of
It'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was the operator there.
He doesn't come up there. He always does that
He's been growing it out.
He's Phil. Dude, where does he play Ricky?
We heard from David Nicolau on drums. Matt Esqueda on piano. And Jacob Trail on saxophone. Wow, look at this crowd, huh? So, the theme of tonight is reintroducing Wayne Shorter. That was a little bit of a twist on Black Diamond off his first album, introducing Wayne Shorter, go figure. We're going to go focus mostly on kind of the first decade of Wayne's output. That's kind of generally is most well known, but we're going to take it in some twists and turns, maybe in some way that the man himself would have. So we're inviting Andrew Munoz on stage on trombone. We're gonna start off. Before I introduce the next tune, I think we have digital programs out there, but if you can hold off looking at them for just 1 second. I want to see if you can guess what tune this is before we actually come with melody, because the rhythm section is going to give you a little bit of a mental puzzle over here. So I'll let the beat take it away. You know what tune that was? Anyone in the crowd? Night Dreamer, yeah. Who guessed it before the band came in? Yeah? 10 points. Who loves playing in 5 and 7? Not. Right? Yeah, exactly. So that was another arrangement of mine on a title track of kind of Wayne's like classic run with Blue Note. You know, he had Night Dreamer, Juju, and Speak No Evil. And we're actually going to play a couple tunes from that era. And actually, it's the next tune we're going to play. And I didn't know this until very well. No, I kind of saw you play bass before, but I know Roy as a saxophone player, but pulling down a bass over here. And not only that, but he got this music 2 days ago, and it's not the easiest stuff in the world. So props to him. Give it up to Mr. Roy Vallecher. He's actually going to kind of feature him on this one. We're definitely going to feature him on the next one. But this is one of Wayne's most classic tunes with a little bit of a fusion twist, courtesy to Mr. Jesus Molina. And we're going to do Ruben with this one. This is Speak No Evil.
Woo!
Loudly on drums. Have a kid on piano. Jacob play on saxophone. And all these guys are gonna head off stage, and me and Roy are gonna get real comfy up here by ourselves. So a few people have asked me where the concept for this show would come from, and I feel like as a graduate student, I feel like I have to be a little more specific about the repertoire that I take versus just, hey, let's just call some tunes. Hey, you want to play stablemate? You know? So I started actually thinking about trumpet artists like Miles Davis. Obviously, it's kind of the easy choice. And I was listening through his stuff in the 60s. And, you know, all those Wayne Shorter tunes were kind of calling out to me. So I was like, why not just do all Wayne? This tune and one of the other tunes that are coming up later in the set are kind of like the big inspiration points for this set list. So this is off of Sorcerer. I'm gonna make use of all these. I think my brother's here. He made if you saw the poster, he made it, by the way. He's the one who donated a lot of this gear to me. So if you like it, you can thank him. If you don't like it, don't say anything. So I'm gonna mess around up here, make some fun sound effects, and then me and Roy are gonna have a little dialogue, and then we're gonna get to the other side. Hopefully everyone gets out unscathed. This is Vanetta. Woo!
sure the technology works too.
before that no matter what happened, we would act like it was the most amazing thing we've ever done together. It was. Because it was.
Yeah!
So this next tune is actually kind of the big inspiration behind the theme of the set. Last year was the 50th anniversary of the Headhunters album at the Hollywood Bowl with Herbie and his original band, other than the bassist who passed away. And he did the second set with his current group, which includes great trumpeter Terrence Blanchard, and they played his version of a very, very, very classic tune. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, I want to play this. And luckily, I found the right group of people to make it happen. So again, kudos to all you guys. And thank you guys all for being here. Wow. I think we could fit this many people in the recital hall. Maybe 119. I don't know. Anyway, this is Terrence Blanchard's version of Footprints. getting up to the end of the set here. Maybe I should have put another tune on, maybe something in 11 for Roy, or 13. 13's cool these days. At least 15. Nothing less than 21. So I'll take a second here while Andrew's getting back up here. Well, actually, I'll start off with give it one more time for the band. Titus Scott on piano. Andrew Munoz joining us again on trombone. Jacob Craig on the saxophone. Doug Lesher on the bass guitar. And David Nicolalde on the drums. Also, I'm Ken Satan. I don't think I said my own name another time. Yeah, this is fun. This is awesome to see so many people out here. So thank you all for coming out. Thanks to the Night Owl for this beautiful, beautiful space. My friends and family who are here. My girlfriend who is helping run around and getting any last minute things I needed. Yeah. Should have written a speech on. Before we wrap up the last thing of the night, I will leave with some parting thoughts. Our personal lives can often be very hectic, chaotic. It can often feel like the world around us is burning down in flames and that the end is nigh. But a lot of us here are artists or creative people or people who just appreciate the world of art. And I think if we have any, yeah, you can cheer for art. Yeah, let's go art. I think if we have any power, any responsibility at all as artists, as creative people, any impact that we can make, it's about connection and communication. So I'm very grateful that I have all these people here with me to make my ideas come to life. And obviously, if it weren't for all of you, we would just be playing. Well, we started in a practice room by ourselves, cramming 6 people in and made it work. And it's still fun, but this is more fun. So continue to strive to find those connections, continue to try to make an impact on the world. And I think what I get from Wayne is that throughout his entire career, you feel his spirit in all his compositions. And I think that is kind of the highest thing we can achieve for us to make an impact on people with the things that we do. So, without further ado, this is Armageddon.
Woo! Woo!
So many people ask me if we're going to jam. But you gotta ask the rhythm section if they want to leave their gear.
Whenever you want to.
I'm done.
Wait next week. Or are they coming to your house to get insurance? You just said you have to get insurance. Hi, Patrick.
How are you?
Yeah.
Not bad. Just wanted to stop by. How have you been? Just, when you came by? Okay.
Ken and
Well, I'm
I.
glad that I saw you right now.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Let's
get the picture for the group, huh? Oh, my chair. Oh, it's okay. It's like Mary. The little chair is mine. Gotta go say hi to Uncle Kevin. What is that? What kind of cartoon is that?
Okay.
Oh, good. Oh, Lord. We'll probably have to say goodbye.
Oh, true. None of this second feels bad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Oh, Laura.
Yeah.
Is that streaming? Let me turn it on. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry.
No. I caught. That's what led me caught the first two tiers.